It's done. On Tuesday, Herschend announced one of the largest acquisitions in amusement park history. And here to tell us more about it is the CEO of Herschend, Andrew Wexler. First, Andrew, congratulations. I imagine that much like a lot of different operators, you were busy this past weekend during Memorial Day holiday. First off, tell me, how does it feel now to have 49 different entertainment properties inside the portfolio?
Well, thank you, Scott, and appreciate you having us on. We're very excited. As we looked at this portfolio, we noticed that there are a lot of iconic brands, very historical properties, and these properties are really important to the communities they serve, and that's really important to us. So we're really excited about this opportunity to serve more families.
Andrew, a lot of professionals across the global attractions industry are wondering, how does a deal, let's say an acquisition of this magnitude, actually come together?
Yeah, well, when we found out that Palace was for sale, with that PQR, the Spanish parent wanted to divest of the U.S. assets, we knew we wanted to be involved. It's a portfolio of iconic brands, really unique properties. They're very important in the communities they serve, which is important to us. Being the size it is, and PQR and their owners being good stewards of their assets, they ran a process. So obviously, an investment banking firm puts out a book. We go in and we do our diligence to try and identify if there's opportunity for us to make a bid, a strong bid. And fortunately, given our strategic nature and given some of the other dynamics in our industry, we were able to prevail in this bid. We feel like it's a fair price. We're really excited about this opportunity. And we're looking forward to really getting involved in these communities that we're now a part of.
Yeah, and there's 49 different communities in North America between the United States and Canada. Up in Canada, of course, Herschend has some phenomenal aquariums. Walk us through what is going to, let's say, be new or different for the consumer. What can guests expect across these now family of 49 properties?
Well, it's really got to be business as usual. We've always been committed to guest experience. That's always been our number one goal, is make sure that we're delivering product that creates the experience, the environment where families can come together. That's our purpose, bringing families closer together by creating memories worth repeating. And that really requires us to focus on the guest experience. And so that's not going to change at all. And fortunately for Palace and the properties that they have, they're iconic in their communities. They've been already focused on families and local experiences that are really signature in their communities. And so people should expect the same great experience. For us, and especially as it relates to the Palace properties, we're just getting to learn them. We're going to get to know them over the next 90 days. It's going to be business as usual. They're going to continue to operate like they always have, and guests can expect the same great experience, same ticket types, season pass benefits. Everything's going to be the same. And as we get to learn the properties, then we'll get to learn how we can add a little bit of our Herschend magic to take them to another level based on our experience.
All right, so you mentioned season passes. Eventually, will we see a Herschend-wide possible season pass where you could go from, in the same vacation, let's say the Vancouver Aquarium down to Silver Dollar City, over to Dollywood, and then wrap up at Kennywood?
You know, right now we're really just focused on making it a smooth transition for our hosts. We want to make sure that that the hosts who come in, for them, this is a little nerve-wracking. Obviously, it's something new. It's a transaction. It's a change, and we want to make sure that we manage the hosts well, because at the end of the day, the hosts touch our guests, and it's the hosts that really make the guest experience. So those are the types of things that we'll figure out over time. But for now, it's really about the transition of the hosts and making sure they have a great experience so they can deliver a great experience to our guests.
Let's talk about the need for talent. As you said, making this a phenomenal experience for your hosts. Will Herschend Family Entertainment be looking to add additional talent to the ranks, whether that is at the corporate level or possibly the park level, to continue that stellar guest service?
We're always looking for great talent. And we're very fortunate that people in this industry tend to be very passionate about it. And you have people who are in it. They come in as teenagers and they're working in their parks, their local parks, and then they grow up in this industry and they're very passionate about the guest experience. They're very passionate about creating these amazing environments. And we're always looking for great talent. And fortunately, what we found in our due diligence when we were looking at Palace is the team there is amazing. And so we're really excited about bringing them in to the Herschend family. But we're always looking for great talent to join us.
That's fantastic news. There's a lot of disruption in the marketplace here in North America. A lot of talented folks possibly looking for their next opportunity with all eyes on Herschend. I want to read you a quote from Chris Herschend, the board chair and third generation owner. He spoke at IAAPA North America Summit in Anaheim, California just last month. He said, "We've never grown this fast in 1 year. So obviously there's some risk with that. Tell us, how do you not get, let's say, too big too soon?"
We really focus on the guest, and we feel like as long as we maintain that focus, as long as we are really dedicated to the guest experience, that we are not as worried about short-term situations, that we really focus on the long term, that's the blessing of being family held and owned by a family, is we're able to look long term. What's the best for the product? What's the best for the communities? What's the best for our hosts over, say, 5, 10, 15, 20 years? Not what do we need to do in the next 3 months to hit a quarterly budget that we've got to report to the public. So because of that, we're really focused on the long term. And I think it's as long as we maintain that focus and are relentless in taking care of our hosts, and then them taking care of our guests, we're going to be fine.
And during a speech at IAAPA North America Summit, Chris Herschend said that he was most excited for this deal, not for bringing 49 different little gems, as he called it, 49 gems together, but actually positively impacting the lives of not only the community, but the hosts. And that's what Herschend is known for. Explain to us how that was part of this decision to bring these two different organizations together.
Absolutely. The Herschend family has always felt the best way to impact somebody's life is to be their employer. And so as we think about how we impact lives for the good, being a good employer, creating an amazing environment where people can grow in their career, where they can develop, where they can provide for their family, and have an amazing job and career, that's one of the best things that we can do for our hosts. It makes them better parents. It makes them better citizens of their community, better members of their church or whatever civic organization they're a part of. And so the Herschend family truly believes that. And as management team, through our board of directors from the shareholders, we have that charge of making sure that we're creating an amazing environment. And Chris said once, the best way to impact people's lives is be their employer. And that's really the approach that we take and how we look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. So if we go back in time here, let's take a step back. Back in 2007, Herschend acquired Wild Adventures in Valdosta, Georgia. And then in February 2021, you began managing and had a partnership. And now you fully own Kentucky Kingdom and Hurricane Bay outside of Louisville, Kentucky. And we've seen investment in those properties. You kind of sat back, you watched, you learned the market, you understood the guest. Can we expect the same thing with these new properties coming from the Palace system?
As I mentioned, in the short term, our number one goal is transition the hosts. We're going to make sure that we provide a really good transition from them into our environment. We are long-term investors, so we look at assets. We make sure that, one, we're the best owner. As long as we're the best owner for them, then we're going to take our time, evaluate, and decide what the investment decisions are for the long term. And that's our approach to business. It always has been, and I don't expect that to change anytime soon.
Yeah, at Kentucky Kingdom this year, we saw Discovery Meadow, an $11 million renovation of an existing park area with new rides, cohesive architecture, some great signage, and just a place where families can be immersed and make memories, as Herschend says, together. Can we expect to possibly see some of these other areas? And if I am a manufacturer or supplier within the global attractions industry, what's the best way to get Herschend's attention moving forward?
Well, we're always trying to evaluate each property. We put together long-term strategic plans for each property, identify what the gaps and needs are for each property, and then we work to address them over time. These are really massive capital projects. It takes time to both plan them and execute them. And so we will do that as we've always done from a long-term perspective. From a vendor in our industry perspective, I think the best way is to develop great product, develop unique product. Our team, our creative studio, is always out looking for the most innovative, most creative, most immersive attractions and experiences that then they can take to our properties and deploy. So I think being innovative and creative in how you approach an attraction and continue to develop and innovate is the best way to get in front of us. And get
Merrill Puckett Miller has a phenomenal legacy of creating attractions and stories like nobody else. And speaking of capital, you have two huge projects coming online: Dolly Parton Songteller Hotel in Nashville, and then an amazing resort, Mountainside, on the top, overlooking Silver Dollar City in Branson. Are those two projects expected to continue at the same pace?
Oh, absolutely. This deal does not change any of our plans. Anything that we had in our plans, like I said, we do long-term capital plans. We specifically decided how we were going to approach this deal was that they would not impact our legacy properties. We would continue to invest and execute the plans that we've already laid out. So those two projects will not be changed at all.
All right, 75 years ago, Hugo and Mary Herschend could never have believed that a simple cave tour in Branson, Missouri would turn into one of the largest attraction companies in the world. There's a lot of smaller operators across the fabric of the global attractions industry. What advice would you have to somebody who's looking at this as just an amazing example of how to be a great employer, a great operator, how to treat your guests well? What advice does Andrew have to them who are still trying to, let's say, find their footing?
Well, I would say it starts with your culture. Your guest experience can never exceed your employee experience. If your employees don't feel like they're being taken care of, they don't feel like you care about them, or if somebody comes to work and they get berated by their boss, who are they going to take it out on? They're going to take it out on their guests. It's so important that you create an amazing environment for your hosts, so then they want to take care of the guests. And when they create that emotional connection with the guests, they create lifelong loyal customers. And that's what we've been able to do for 75 years. And we're just really blessed to have an amazing team and an amazing culture that was started by our founders and then been continued by previous leaders of this organization, and then the family really wanting us to make sure that the culture first. We get more questions from the family about our culture and our employees than anything else, because they care about the host that we have.
All right, Andrew, one final question. Will we see these fantastic staples like cinnamon bread at Dollywood expand to other properties coming up?
You never know. What we'll do is continue to focus on learning what the unique about these properties. Each of these properties have their own signature items. I mean, you think about what each property like Kennywood or Compounce, what they have that's already unique and signature, and how do we enhance those? And we'll continue to identify opportunities to possibly bring new and innovative signature items to every one of our properties. But it really depends on what the community likes and what the community needs.
Andrew Wexler, the CEO of Herschend, congratulations. Thanks for sharing some insight with IAAPA News. We cannot wait to see how you continue this growth story.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Always.